The morning Arjun's father collapsed in the field, nobody saw it happen. Ravi just folded quietly onto the dry earth, the way a tired man sits down, and stayed there until a neighbor found him an hour later. When Arjun rushed to the hospital, the doctor didn't say anything dramatic. He just handed him a slip of paper. Medical bills, outstanding loans, numbers Arjun had never known existed. His father had been carrying this alone, in silence, for years. Arjun sat outside the hospital room and stared at the paper until the numbers blurred. His hands were shaking, not from fear, but from something worse, recognition. He had wasted so much time. Everyone in the village of Chandpur knew Arjun was talented. Quick mind, sharp instincts. Teachers had praised him. Neighbors had pointed at him and said, "That boy will do something great." But talented people have a specific kind of blindness. They believe potential is enough, that being capable of doing something is the same as actually doing it. Arjun had started a dozen things, a small business idea, abandoned after 2 weeks, a savings plan, forgotten after one indulgent afternoon at the market, a skill he was learning, dropped when it got difficult. He always had a reason, always had tomorrow. But standing outside that hospital room, Arjun finally understood something. Tomorrow has been listening, and it remembers everything you postponed. He made a promise that night, not loudly, not dramatically, just quietly, in the dark, to no one in particular, and to himself most of all. Starting tomorrow, I will be different. For 11 days, he was. He woke before sunrise. He helped on the land. He contacted a distant uncle for work. He tracked every rupee. He went to bed tired, genuinely tired, and it felt earned. On the 12th day, he slept in. 30 minutes, he told himself. But 30 minutes became 2 hours. 2 hours became a skipped morning. And once the morning was gone, something strange happened in Arjun's mind. A quiet voice said, "The day is already ruined. Start fresh tomorrow." He listened to it. That was the moment. Not dramatic, no music, no warning, just one small surrender and the slow unraveling that follows. Within 3 weeks, the old Arjun had returned. Sleeping late, postponing, telling himself meaningful stories about why today wasn't the right day to begin. Then the letter arrived. The uncle had offered him a real opportunity, managing inventory in a warehouse in the city, a steady income, enough to help his family. But it required one thing: showing up consistently, on time, every single day for a 2-week trial. Arjun failed the trial, not because he lacked the skill, because on the 4th day he was 40 minutes late. On the 7th day, he simply didn't show up. The uncle didn't call again. Arjun sat on the edge of the village well that evening, staring at nothing. Meera, his younger sister, walked past him without stopping. That was the part that broke him. She used to always stop. She used to always say something kind. She didn't stop anymore. He sat there long after dark, and that's when he noticed old Kanha. 70 years old, nearly blind in one eye, moving slowly across his small plot of land in the moonlight, placing seeds into rows he had already prepared before sunrise, alone, in the dark, with no audience, no applause, and no one telling him it was a good idea. Arjun watched him for a long time. Finally, he walked over. "Kanhaji," he said quietly, "why do you do this every day? You're old, you're tired, nobody is watching." The old man didn't look up. He pressed another seed into the earth. Nobody was watching yesterday either. The crop grew anyway. Arjun stood there. Something inside him cracked open, not painfully,
but the way a window cracks open to let air into a room that has been closed too long.
Discipline, he realized, was never about motivation. Motivation is loud and disappears by noon. Discipline is quiet. It shows up in the dark when nobody is watching and the results are not yet visible. It is not a feeling, it is a decision you make before you feel like it and keep making long after the feeling is gone. He started again, but this time differently. He didn't promise himself perfection. He promised himself one non-negotiable thing per day. One thing that would get done no matter what his mind said, no matter how he felt, no matter what excuse arrived dressed as a reason. Some days it was small, a letter written, a field row completed, a single hour of focused effort. But it was done. Weeks passed, then months. The family situation didn't transform overnight, but slowly, quietly, it began to shift. And more importantly, Arjun began to shift. The man his father had always seen in him started to exist in the real world, not just in potential. Mira stopped walking past him without stopping. Reflection and life lesson. Here's what Arjun learned, and what most of us already know but haven't fully understood yet. We don't lack talent. We don't lack ideas. We don't even lack opportunity most of the time. What we lack is the ability to show up after the feeling is gone. The mind is brilliant at negotiation. It will offer you comfort when you need courage. It will remind you how tired you are at exactly the moment you need to begin. It will dress every excuse in the clothing of a reason. Disciplining your mind doesn't mean silencing it. It means learning not to obey every thought it sends you. That one small commitment, kept on the days when you don't feel like it, is where character is actually built, not in the big moments, in the quiet ones, in the dark, like old Kana, pressing seeds into earth that no one is watching. Think about one thing you have been postponing, not because you can't do it, but because you've been waiting to feel like it. You might be waiting a long time. Thank you so much for watching. If this story meant something to you, please subscribe to Upgradist Stories, where every story carries a lesson worth carrying with you. We'll see you in the next one.